78% of suicide rates worldwide are men. What can we do to help them? I know this is late, but stop reminding us we're the root of all evil. I think about this often. My boyfriend of 10 years committed suicide 10 years ago. There's such a need for more mental health resources that actually help. Have women not verbally abuse us so much? Cure Alzheimer's. My grandfather killed himself, probably didn't want to slowly lose himself any more than he already had. This is late, so I'll probably get buried, but I think this problem is one that can only be truly solved in the next generation. We as parents, especially to boys, need to instill in our children that they should never be afraid to speak about their feelings. Men today have been raised to be manly in the sense of things like men don't cry and being told to hide their emotions. This is deeply damaging from childhood and lasts, making it difficult for many men to form the kinds of friendships where they are comfortable discussing emotions. It's too late for us, but we can make sure this problem won't even need to be considered by our kids and theirs. Stop the generalizations. Every man is individual, and to say that all men are X or all guys are X is damaging because it puts it in the systems of those who aren't like that and makes them paranoid and they question every single interaction with someone of the opposite sex. Individualize the experiences. That person was X and name is X. Stop telling us that we should be expected to do things because that's what guys do. We don't have to pay for every meal, we don't need to know how to fix a car, we don't always need to be the breadwinner of the family. There's a tangent I could go on, but let's get to the next point. We need facilities for those who are male and have been abused in any way, shape or form. Be it sexual, physical, financial, emotional, or whatever the case might be. This way, we have a reduction in those bottling up the feelings that they hold inside. Stop expecting us to hold our emotions in. Let it out. Cry if you need to. Crying does not make you any less of a man. Feel angry. Express happiness in any way you feel. Express feelings in any way, shape or form so long as it does not harm another individual or yourself. We need better laws in regards to child support. If a man is not biologically not the owner of that baby, then that person should not be obligated to take care of that baby financially. If the significant other is abusive to the child or you, no matter if the child is biologically yours or not, you should have every right to cut any and all financial assistance off from them, and declare custody of the child. Stop blaming men for every woman's mishap is a good start. Tell them it's okay to feel things and talk about it. No one should feel like they can't talk about how they feel. Provide free ropes. Stop putting the same old societal pressures on men. We aren't living in the 1800s anymore. Men don't need a lot of the burdens society places on them in this day and age. Women have nearly none, if any, pressures placed on them. That's mostly from extreme feminists shredding any standards already existing to little pieces. I am a woman, I haven't ever had any monumental pressures placed on me from society. My two brothers, however, have had that. My father has. Almost every man I know has. We don't need to hold men to those pressures, it will only end up harming their well-being. Chief among them is the age-old belief of men can't cry. That's not just crying, men have to suppress any emotions if they aren't in a private setting. Because of the notion that they appear wimpy if they do. That's stupid. We're human, we all have emotion. Crying is the best way to express several. That's just one example of pressures, though. Men don't get hardly as much support and hardly any compliments compared to women. Be decent fathers. Don't be absent fathers. Don't blanket view masculine behaviors as bad for society where it needs both to move forward. Encourage young men to see themselves as able to take risk. Stop this narrative of women as inherently saintly and men as inherently threatening. Equalize maternal and paternal rights. For a start, pay people more. That's it. Really, we can stop talking about the world's problems as anything other than economic inequality. I was very close to ending it one day. Then I accepted poverty as a new normal. It doesn't help the hardship, but it allowed me to live for my daughter. I will never forgive the billionaire class for making her grow up in poverty. Just have sex with them. Come on ladies, time to step up. /s. Seriously though, we need to stop this macho bury all your emotions bullshit. It's not healthy. Being able to earn enough money to not be constantly on the verge of total collapse would be a great starting point. Stop making people feel like they are broken, or damaged, or weak for seeking therapy and antidepressants. Also, stop making it so fucking expensive and out of reach for the majority of people, in America, at least. So many suicides and depressed people don't get counseling because of outdated stigma around it, even today. So many people think that there has to be some kind of inciting incident, like a divorce, or loss of a loved one, or going to war, etc., before you can be properly depressed or anxious. That's nonsense. There's no right way to be depressed. Eliminate the patriarchy which tells men they can't cry, can't seek help, and can't be anything but strong and independent. Once we get a new cultural system in place where everyone is treated equally, things will be much better. Also getting rid of the capitalist system, which encourages only competition, and replacing it with a socialist system that encourages cooperation and helping out one another would do wonders to improve people's mental health. All the hyper-capitalist nations such as America, Japan, and South Korea have sky-high suicide rates, while more socialist nations such as Cuba and Vietnam have some of the lowest suicide rates because socialism values people and social safety nets over profit. Read the red pill. To listen to them. Women mostly spill their feelings out to anyone that they care about and want to listen. But it's hard for men/young teens to tell that they need help like that. I would bet they most want to fix the problem, but there is a time and place for that to happen. But check up on them and don't just give the "how are you doing," but actually ask them to speak deeper than "good" or "it's okay" on their life. Also, if they don't want to talk with you, stop asking to talk, but when they say that, say "I will be here anytime you need it." But also, if it's going downhill fast and they say "I'm going to do it," or other things like that, and they said "don't tell anyone," forget about being their friend, tell someone quick, because if they stop being friends with you, then that is on them, because you could have just saved his life. Not invalidate their feelings, let them know that it's okay to get help, that they are not alone, and that going to therapy or getting treatment doesn't make them weak. On that note, if someone needs to talk, I am right here, I don't judge, smile. Destigmatize talking about mental health. I've had far too many friends and family members too concerned about appearing manly and tough to talk about their depression. In their mind, being depressed is weak and feminine. There is no gender to mental health, and speaking about it and getting help is much braver than keeping it to yourself. Something important to remember is that more women attempt to commit suicide than men, they just use less extreme or effective methods. For example, more women slit their wrists but more men shoot themselves. I'm not trying to say it's a competition or anything, but it's important to remember that there isn't something inherently wrong with the way men live in comparison to women. I've heard stats like men are generally more lonely. I'm not saying that I disproved that or anything. I don't know anything about this, I just thought it might be helpful. Encourage more women to get involved. Give us lots of hugs. Help create a world that they don't want to escape from. Perhaps start with not assuming every male is a rapist. I think men, especially young men, are just way too competitive. From a young age many try to be something special, have a talent, something they are much better in than their peers. The problem is that, first of all, not everyone can be better than their peers, especially if you limit the fields that count. To help, young men should be taught to find happiness in being normal, and that pursuing a normal goal or interest is very much okay. A sensible goal for life is to try to give back more than you take. Imagine if everyone reached that simple goal. Mandatory GF. Nothing. Women find men who share their feelings unappealing. At the same time, society wants men to share their feelings and tells them there is something wrong with them if they don't. Then when they do, Women find those feelings a turn off and not manly. You're not allowed to be a person, you need to be a man. It feels like you're trapped. No matter what you do, it is wrong.